fingers, worn from many years of work, drummed upon the table in a repetitive pattern. Work. Lips, thin and always scraped by teeth, were chewed and littered with blemishes that were symbolic of their owner's anxiety. Stress. Why are you so worried, dear Jeremy? I don't know. His eyes were but silver discs that ached to close and awakened from this torturous dream that, cruelly enough, was instead reality. They sat in pools of pink that were greeted by the red color of veins and the invisible essence of lost composure. The man, a curious fellow by the name of Jeremy Hitz, was someone hardly known in the small town he inhabited, which he rarely explored. He had little interest in the outside world. In his early 20s he should have looked decidedly young, but instead he wore the face of someone who had been through strife and hardship, or some wailing madness that haunted him like some hell-bent banshee. The mane of ebony that was his hair blanketed his features and acted as a curtain, one that shone with grease. His apartment was a cluttered mess of boxes stuffed with items and possessions that he hardly cared for any more, debris that he could be bothered to pick up in mottled clumps of plain old filth that had accumulated over the years. One could call it a cockroach's paradise for its miserable condition. One could make out the shards of glass strewn about the carpet, glistening in the sunlight that the blinds had let through. Family photos dripped from the white walls in an angered frenzy, smiling family photos doctored to blot out a single face, with black Sharpie and tainted by fingerprints smeared with red. He is erased. Jeremy hardly batted an eyelash at such, nor had he shown concern when even his own body had become the victim to the corruption of decay. The voice that plagued him was what he referred to as the Earwig, although this was only derived from the insect's nature to crawl into one's ears. And an old saying from his papa, "Looks like Earwig's found a home in your head," when he first heard it. A small chuckle escaped the deteriorated person's lips as he remembered his old man's wisdom. Well, that turned into a sour frown once he remembered the rest of the memories. Broken hearts, dreams, and bones came to mind. An angry bellow of the man's voice, a harsh sound upon his occupied ears, wanted to get the earwigs out. He had said that they talked to Jeremy too much, that the bugs living in his head had caused something named madness to move in. It was preposterous, a crazy assumption that had caused Jeremy to grind his teeth and his lower eyelid to twitch. Maybe he should have told us earlier, Earwig rasped. The voice, his one and only friend throughout the bitter hell of his life, had helped him through a deed that he had considered noble. Jeremy, it croaked. He had always noted that its voice always resembled his. It had the same guttural growl, the tendency to crack, all of it. He replied in slight disinterest. I do believe he is gone. They will never find him. Not in this mess, Jeremy answered with a startling amount of indifference, and even a hint of smug confidence. The boxes, stacked high and with careful planning, involved as to their position, proved to be a great hiding.